Welcome friends to a review on the 2024 Bentley Continental GTC. This is the Edition 8, meaning this is the final version of this twin-turbo 4-liter V8. And a special thank you to Bentley of High Point, North Carolina for giving me this opportunity, because this is the oldest Bentley dealership in the United States, and they have 3 different Edition 8s available at their dealership. If you want to purchase any of these Edition 8 models from the oldest, most experienced Bentley dealership, I will have Chris Rivas and his phone number on the screen for you to check out, as well as in the description box below. So special thank you to Bentley of High Point. Now, before we set off, let's quickly talk about some of the features that sets the Edition 8 apart. All right, so we have a Continental black line specification with matrix grille. We have the front seat comfort specification, the Bentley rotating display, which I will show you in the interior segment. We have the 22-inch open spoke wheel finished in full black paint, and we have 275 wide tires in the front and 315s in the back. We also have the self-leveling wheel badge by Mulliner. We have the dual fuel and oil filter caps, LED welcome lamps, the Mulliner palm fluting for the seats, and finally we have Edition 8 exterior badges and seat embroidery as well. So this is the way you can tell the Edition 8 apart from the regular Continental GTCs. And as we know, this 4-liter V8, it's brilliant. It produces 542 horsepower and 568 pounds-feet of torque. Now let's go ahead and let's get this vehicle out on the road. All right, this model I'm checking out here, stickers for $310,000. And being that this is the convertible model, this weighs about 5,100 pounds. A coupe version would weigh 4,700 pounds, approximately. 0 to 60 on the convertible, it's about 4 seconds flat, according to Bentley. The coupe would do it in 3.9 seconds. However, Car and Driver, when they tested the coupe with the V8, they managed to do 0 to 60 in 3.4 seconds. And I do love the V8 engine. It is absolutely brilliant. I've tried it in the Bentayga as well. It catapults these Bentleys effortlessly, and there's no lag. These engines, along with the W12, they're all mated to an 8-speed dual clutch transmission. And you do have some nice metal paddle shifters to play with here as well. And you know, driving these cars, despite their size and their mass, they're so easy to pilot around town. This vehicle is about 191 inches long total. You can certainly tell that this is a pretty wide vehicle when you drive it, but really it's so easy. The steering is relatively light, so placing it out on the road, your visibility out the front, all of this is brilliant. The mirrors are doing a great job. I would say that the rear visibility in the convertible is a bit restricted. You have a small window there. But let's set off here and get on some of these back roads. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. This vehicle, even at half throttle, just picks up and goes effortlessly. You have a nice throaty exhaust note coming from this V8. Sounds brilliant. You don't need the W12, but I have tried it before, and that is a truly exquisite engine for sure. If you have the budget and the means, this dealership, they have a few Speed 12 models as well. So if you want to get that, go ahead, because that W12, it simply takes things to the next level. One of the most charismatic twin turbo engines that you can experience. In fact, I actually prefer the W12 to Rolls-Royce's V12. It's just more charismatic, sounds throaty, and it's very exhilarating. It's not necessarily leaps and bounds quicker than the V8 that I'm testing here. It's mainly for that audible experience. That's why you get the W12, but this is all you need, especially with the instantaneous reaction of this engine and this transmission. Regarding fuel economy, I know nobody cares, but It's rated to get 14 in the city, 21 out on the highway, but many people have reported that they were able to beat the highway MPG numbers. So that's just really impressive. This is a surprisingly efficient engine, given its power and thrust. All right, but in the city, yeah, you are seriously going to get 14. That's kind of the compromise with most of these turbo engines. Once again, nobody buys this for fuel economy, I get that. But other aspects, how is the handling and how is the refinement out on the road? Well, this is extremely quiet, like you would expect. We do have very thick double pane glass. The ride quality is absolutely supple over just about every road type. In fact, what makes the Continental special is it's riding like a true flagship vehicle, similar to an S-Class or an Audi A8, something along those lines, but it's so nimble. Like, you can chuck it into these corners. You only get a little bit of body lean, which is totally acceptable given the fact that this weighs 5,100 pounds, but the agility is going to be surprising to so many people. You would not think that this is such a tossable car looking at it from the outside. So that's the special quality in my opinion. There's this lightweight sensation to it, but you know that you're driving a hefty, sturdy automobile. So this has all the benefits of a high curb weight vehicle, but it masks that weight and the size from you. I love cars that are able to do that. So the benefit that you get is out on the highway doing high speeds, this vehicle is going to feel planted and very confidence inspiring. But unlike most sports cars, this is riding so well. Again, very similar to a flagship luxury car like an S-Class, just one level below that, but it's fine because it's giving you such great agility and handling dynamics here. So I'm loving the drive and I'm loving this engine. It just sounds so good, very exquisite. But you know, as I mentioned in my Bentayga video, these cars, they go beyond the driving quality and they go beyond their specs. What do I mean by that? You're buying into a totally different lifestyle when you buy a Bentley vehicle. You're purchasing an exotic car and you get a lot of perks with that. You get invited to certain events, you're able to network with certain individuals, and if you're in a certain tax bracket, there's genuine financial sense in purchasing cars like this. But again, I'm not going to waste too much verbiage regarding this because someone who's already in the market for a car like this, they already know all of these things that I'm talking about and what I'm alluding to. Now, I think we get the point regarding the way this vehicle drives. It's quiet, it's composed, very quick around town, and yes, for audio purposes, I did leave the top up so you can hear me properly. But that's the other thing. Even with this being a convertible vehicle with the soft top, this is still so quiet. No compromises if you want to get this convertible vehicle. But as you're about to see in the interior segment, there are advantages with going with the coupe. Yes, I already talked about how it's about 400 pounds lighter and it does cost a little bit less, but you're also going to get a slightly larger trunk as well. So let's go ahead and let's transition into this interior segment now. All right, now that we are stopped, let's go ahead and let's talk about this interior space. I've expressed this multiple times. The interior is why Bentley is one of my most favorite luxury automakers. Again, when you look at this interior design, there's just so much going on, so much for your eyes to behold. I would personally put this above Rolls-Royce, in my opinion. Rolls-Royce is cool, I appreciate them. I've driven things like the Ghost, and I do like it, but when you see it visually with your eyes, I love the woodwork, the metalwork, the stitching, the piping. It's also exquisite. And because we have the Edition 8, we have that stitched into the headrest, and we also have the palm flute stitching on the seats as well. And it's all just so perfectly done. You have a nice leather wafting smell inside of this cabin, and that's what puts these exotic cars above your generic Audis, BMWs, and Mercedes vehicles. It's the smells, it's the design, and it's the material choices and the way it's all blended together perfectly. Now you do have this piano black design in the center console here, which I'm sure you can have that swapped out for whatever you would personally like. But here you will find plenty of physical buttons and switches to access things like your HVAC. In fact, the HVAC is elegantly implemented here into this rotary dial. And all the dials here, they have this knurled metalwork surrounding it. Certainly a quality touch. And you have your heated and cooled seats. And I like the silver buttons as well to access your convertible top for putting that up and down. And surrounding the engine start stop button is once again a knurled rotary knob, so you can put it in the various modes. The Bentley mode is obviously the best setting between sport and comfort. Yes, when you put it into comfort, the vehicle will soften up even a little bit more, but I do like the middle Bentley mode the most. And of course, got to talk about the shifter with the big B on it. That's elegantly done. You got the beautiful metal air vents, the Bentley clock in the middle, and I think everyone's favorite function is going to be pressing that screen button and having the infotainment swivel out of the way to show you some classy gauges. That's absolutely awesome. And now you have this metal weave texture that goes throughout the cabin seamlessly when you have those gauges appear. But the infotainment screen, that's still elegantly implemented. It's very similar to the Audi infotainment, so it's extremely easy to use, quick to respond, no problems. You got your Apple CarPlay and your Android Auto as well. Steering wheel is a good size. We do have this dual red plus black interior color. It suits this vehicle nicely, and I like the shape of the wheel, the way it's designed. Once again, your turn signal stalks and your cruise control functions, they have that knurled metal work as well. You have a full digital gauge cluster similar to the Bentley Bentayga. And what I like is both of these screens, the gauge cluster and the infotainment, they're sharp, they're high quality. It's got deep black levels, so all that is fine. You have one touch up and down windows for all the windows in this car, and it's finished in this nice chrome. And simply looking at this door here, it's just so exquisitely finished. I would say one of the cons is going to be you can't really get some of these safety features as standard, like adaptive radar, cruise control. That's all part of a separate touring package, which this car does come with, but it's about $9,000. So that's a pretty hefty package right there, but it also includes a heads-up display and the night vision system as well. So you got that. But things like blind spot monitoring, rear cross traffic alert, that does come standard with these Bentleys. Now the other thing that I'm going to note is the audio system. So we have here the base audio system. I wish we had the name, but not to worry. Even this sounds great. It truly has a phenomenal sound signature to it. The clarity and the tone, it's all proper. Definitely deserving of a flagship vehicle. So if you're looking at a Bentley that doesn't have the name audio, not to worry, it's not a big deal. They have really calibrated this base unit to sound excellent. Now, being that this is the convertible model, yes, we do have some rear seats here. Obviously, it's not the most practical for adults, but you can use that as storage. And the trunk space, it's about 8 cubic feet, 8 and some change, something like that. If you go with a coupe model, you're going to get a 12.6 cubic feet trunk, so a little over 4 cubic feet more trunk space with the coupe model. So personally, that's what I would go for, but of course, if you want this convertible driving experience, go with the convertible, because as we saw in the driving segment, this is still a very quiet machine, and you mainly get the noises that you want, like that V8 engine that comes through the cabin nicely. So with that established, let's go ahead and let's conclude this video. All right, as you can see, I'm a huge fan of these Bentley products, both for its exterior/interior design, but also the driving qualities out on the road. There's no real compromises with it. It rides really well. You have a great throaty V8 engine here, just sounds phenomenal. This car simply has a lot of character and so much swagger as well. Everyone is looking at this vehicle. This is truly a beautiful spec. I like the fact that this is totally just blacked out and we have the cool red interior as well with this Edition 8. And despite having those massive 22-inch wheels, the ride quality is still great, and it improves even further when you put it into the true comfort mode. But I personally like the B mode the most because it allows you to tap into some of those great handling characteristics as well. You would not believe that you're driving around in a 191-inch long, 5,100-pound automobile. It feels so much lighter than that when you are piloting it out on the road. Plus, you get the benefits of driving around in a heavy curb weight vehicle. This car remains planted, it remains stable and sturdy at high speeds, and that's what happens when you have a really well-designed chassis and suspension. But if you want to take advantage of this vehicle, you can reach out to Bentley of High Point, North Carolina. Once again, they are the oldest Bentley dealership in the United States, and they have about 3 of these Edition 8s available for sale. This is one of them, and this dealership is able to ship nationwide. So wherever you are in the United States, they are able to ship these cars to you. So I'm going to have Chris Rivas and his phone number on the screen for you to check out, as well as in the description box. So thank you so much for watching this video. Take care and goodbye.